people. Train them if you don't like them. You know.
Ben.
Excuse me.
Sorry, there's the right one. I'm Draq, and I am joined by Therek. We are Pantheon Plus, and we are here to do the Nathan Napalm RPG Choose Your Own Adventure.
I'm here for an adventure. I was promised adventure, and I am here for said adventure. With puppets.
With puppets. Adventure with puppets. It's
many puppets.
If my children will leave me alone.
You know, bring them along. They're good for an adventure. They can be our they can be our pullers.
Oh my goodness. So neither you and I have done this. We've just seen the trailers, but I haven't done anything with this. So this is our first time through. It's gonna be super exciting. And so I'm just gonna hit the play button here, and we're gonna. Are we gonna vote, or is it you and me making the decisions, or are we letting chat?
Yeah, no, I think. Well, I don't know. We can sort of do it as we go along, but I think just you and I will make our decisions as time goes on, and then maybe we'll bring the chat in a little later for a little flavor to see what they want to do. But I have no idea what to expect. Like I'm kind of like coming at this from like I don't even know like a decision making approach. I don't know what to expect this, but that's what's fun about it. That's what I'm like about it.
All right, Nathan says we need to pause because there's a 20-second delay.
This isn't just a video.
Okay.
This is a game where at the end of each video you pick what to do next, creating your own adventure in this Dungeons and Dragons universe within over 700 different
Desert
options.
says, follow your
Please
heart.
share this video on forums,
That's
Discord,
right. That's
and
right.
social
Follow
media
your heart.
so that
And if
others
you're in
can
chat,
unlock
you've
the
done this
adventures
already.
and I
No
can
spoilers.
DM thousands of people. Now,
Let's make it an organic
begin.
adventure
In the
that
city of
isn't,
Neverwinter, your
we
group,
go.
the human paladin Sorensen, the elf cleric Winter, the human wizard Draq, and the halfling rogue Minus are gathered around a table at a local pub with their dwarf acquaintance and friend Gundren Rockseeker. He has with him a stout human warrior, and he seems rather excited about something. Gundren looks them over and says, "My friends, I need ye to bring me supplies to the frontier town of Phandalin. She be a couple days travel to the southeast." He then leans in close to the paladin Sorensen. "Me brothers and I are onto something big, I tell ye." The wizard Draq asks, "What sort of big thing are you rock seekers onto?" Gundren laughs.
That
"I
wizard,
can
he's a
be
smart
sharing,"
guy.
he says, "but I'll be paying ye
As
lads
usual.
10 gold pieces to bring me wagon to Barthen's Provisions, a trading post in Phandalin." Outside the pub and inn, Gundren and warrior Sildar are atop their horses. "We will be riding ahead of ye. We need to take care of some business." And with that, they ride off along the trail toward Phandalin. At their pace, they will probably arrive in 2 days' time. With the wagon loaded and the mission set, the group begins their journey to Phandalin, riding at a short gallop's pace along the trail. They travel
wagon is
for a
epic.
full day. On the second day, the cleric leans over to the paladin and says, "There are bandits and outlaws in this area. We should be alert." The adventurers continued on the Triboard Trail for about half a day when they come around a bend in the trail. They notice a dead horse in front of them, black feathered arrows sticking from its fresh corpse. The woods
This
press
is
close to the trail here.
PG-13 right
Now,
here. It's so
adventurers, what will you do? Since this is a choose your own adventure story, you decide what happens next at the end of each video, creating your own adventure in this Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Please make your decision, and remember you can always play this over and over again. Enjoy.
Over and again. So do we want to inspect the horse?
Okay, hold on. I need to process it a little bit. So the guys who hired them, the two guys set out ahead of them. We're assuming this is their horse, maybe. Are we? Is that sort of the assumption that they've been attacked? This is their horse. Would you say?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Probably. Okay, so what are our options? Stop the horse and look around. Pull back wagon, let the rogue scout ahead.
I feel like we should let the rogue scout.
I can't disagree with that. I mean, but are we sure he's not just going to grab like any loot and run away?
Are we gonna?
Because he might.
Or kill Minus with our first choice.
He's good. He's good. He'll do it. Pull the wagon back. We're gonna let the rogue scout ahead. Hey.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Oh,
My immersion! My immersion!
The paladin Sorensen shouts, "Something is afoot!" and he pulls the wagon back away from the horrific scene of the dead horses on the trail. The rogue Midas pulls out his daggers and says, "I will scout ahead. There is the foul stench of goblin in the air." As the rogue is stealthily moving through the brush, he notices a goblin.
Stealthily.
He is unaware of
Yeah.
Midas's presence and appears to be scratching his
crunchy there.
ugly goblin head. Midas the rogue looks up and notices another goblin high atop the cliff above the dead horses surveying the land. He must have not noticed their wagon, but killing one could alert the other. What will you have the rogue Midas do? The choice is yours. Backstab the goblin and then stealth to the one on the cliff, or sneak back to the group to form a plan.
I'll let you make the decision. I know what I would do.
No, well, I want to know what you do. I made the decision on the last one. You do this.
I think I'm always going back to the group.
Yeah, strength in numbers, right? Like, yeah, we don't want to get Midas
Look at
killed. We've put him at enough risk already. Let's pull it back a little bit.
Yeah, I'm the cautious guy.
Agreed.
Midas
agreed.
sneaks his way back to the group and alerts them to the goblin presence. Sorensen the paladin asks Midas to sneak up on the cliff to dispatch the ranged goblin. They will wait until they see the goblin down and then charge the goblin in the forest. Midas very carefully makes his way up the cliff, staying out of sight of the goblin.
That's an
The rest of
impressive
the party
dagger.
is out of view.
The dagger's like
watching,
half the size of
hearts
him.
pumping in their little puppet chests. They can just make out Midas popping into view behind the goblin with a
Boom!
quick backstab.
Nice.
The goblin falls to a heap
That's a
of
crit.
death. Midas disappears into the shadows. The paladin Sorensen looks to his comrades and says, "Now for the other one." They dart into the forest, making much more noise than Midas had, even though they were trying to be just as stealthy. The goblin spins in fear as he sees the three charging toward him. He is caught in shock and taken by surprise as the paladin Sorensen descends upon him. And in a flash of his
Whoa.
blade, the goblin is no
Nice.
more.
I feel like we
approaches
just owned
into the
it.
forest.
I feel
I
like
was just gonna
Yes.
say,
What should we do
definitely made the
now?
right choice there, man. Holy moly,
Continue
that
to
was
vandal
awesome.
on the wagon or investigate the area further.
Well,
I feel like every chance I get to investigate, I should investigate.
yeah, well, there's always experience and loot to be gained, isn't there? Like, but on the other hand, so I mean, and yeah, those if that horse was those other two dudes, then they probably are around here somewhere. Like, there's probably like we might want to try and find them. I mean, they did hire us to do this, so we kind of feel like we owe them a little bit. So I say investigate the area further.
Yep.
Yeah, good choice.
They decide to investigate the area further, and it doesn't take long before Midas catches scent of goblin on a trail leading into the woods. Meanwhile, the wizard notices an empty map case on the dead horse. The paladin nor the cleric find anything of value or interesting. Midas suggests they should investigate the path that smells of goblin. He is sure that the goblins must have taken Gundren down this way. The paladin and cleric just want to continue the trip to Phandalin. What do you want to do?
So hold on, what did they say? So who wants to go where?
The cleric and the paladin want to continue. Midas wants to follow the goblin trail. I feel like this is our first side quest.
I feel like it is too. And then they did mention the dude, right? So yeah, he's around here somewhere. We got to find these guys. Follow the goblin trail, I say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do all the side quests.
I do too.
Friends would walk up to me. And
I mean,
just
that's
be
what
like,
I'm here for,
"What
right?
the
I'm here to
fuck
play
is
the
your
game.
mom?"
I'm
Give me all
here
the,
for the
And I would just tell them.
give me the
"It's mud."
content, you know?
They follow the trail, with Midas the rogue leading the way, staying ever vigilant. One little half of
Ever
them ear
vigilant.
perked up for the sound of anything astray. They finally come across a large cave in a hillside, miles from the ambush site. They can hear water running inside the cavern, and a dry, narrow path leads into the mouth of the cavern. Midas confirms to everyone that this is indeed going to have goblins inside, but could definitely lead them to answers about what the goblins are up to. After a brief conversation, they decide to enter the cave. Crossing a bit of ground to get there, arrows plunge into the earth before them from their east, and they hear the chatter of goblins. At this moment, they realize that partially hidden from their view to the east is a goblin outlook post with 3 goblins, all bows drawn. What will you do? You could make a run for the cavern entrance, or take cover and fight the goblins, or you could charge the goblins. The choice is up to you.
Boy, if only we had a ranger of our own.
Wouldn't this be a great moment for a ranger?
I gotta tell you, we have no ranged combat in our party, so I don't
Wait a
know. I mean,
minute. What am I?
you could do something about this. How come the option isn't there for Draq to hurl some fireballs here? I mean,
That's the fourth option. Maybe that'll be in the expansion pack.
the even more lost minds of Fendelver.
Even more lost. I don't ever
do you
feel
think?
like I should leave mobs behind me. Maybe that's just me. So, making a run always seems like a bad idea.
Really? Oh, that's what I was gonna think. I was gonna do that. I was gonna take that option. I don't want to take cover. They've got the high ground on us. Like we can't really. I don't know if we can hide anywhere. Charging them, like again, they're up
Charging him
above
seems
us.
like somebody's gonna die.
Well, unless you've got like Pegasus cloak or some sort of flight mechanism on your arsenal.
You're gonna climb up a hill into arrows.
Yeah,
That sounds
you're
bad.
screwed. Don't do that. Don't do that. Your call. Your call. What do you think?
Oh my goodness.
We did dispatch that other one pretty easily, so I could see if we want to take cover and try and draw them down. I mean, they're goblins, right? They're not smart.
All right.
know.
Let's take cover and fight the goblins.
Okay. Get that loot.
They find cover the best they can to shield themselves from the onslaught of arrows coming from the goblin lookout. The rogue sees an opportunity to sneak out of sight and takes it. Creeping along the rocks, he tries to get closer
Yeah,
to the
Midas.
goblin.
Midas is gonna save the day again.
Meanwhile, the cleric casts Shield of Faith on the paladin,
Shield of
and he
Faith?
feels
Why didn't
bolstered
we see
enough
that?
to keep the attention of the goblins, while the rogue attempts to
Got
sneak
it.
around. Deflecting the arrows with his sword is working, and the wizard Draq decides to cast hideous
awesome.
laughter on one of the goblins. It is barely in range of the spell, and one of the goblins suddenly finds everything hilarious. He begins laughing
Nice.
hysterically and is no longer able to stand in his fits of laughter and falls from the lookout. The fall is to his death. The arrows have slowed, and the paladin and cleric get back in cover just in time for the rogue to slash the goblin. But the attack wasn't fatal. Instead, the goblin hobbles a few feet and then falls to the ground dead. It appears there must have been a poison on Minus's blade. The air is still, and the group realizes they are safe. It doesn't appear any creatures on the inside of the cave were alerted, so they proceed inside. It is dark and smells of foul, feral urine inside, of something wilder than goblin, and they can hear the jingling of chains and deep growls from an area
Uh-oh.
to the right.
That's not
Up
good.
ahead is another passageway, going deeper into the cavern. What will you do?
Well, before we do that, I just want to say, can I say that hideous laughter spell is grossly underappreciated in D&D? I'm so glad Nathan got that in there because I've never seen that used in any D&D experience in my lifetime, and he actually found a use for the hideous laughter spell. Love it.
I can't
Somebody-
believe it. Yeah, I've never used it. I've never even had it meant.
That one and the dancing spell. There's a dancing spell. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like pretty awesome. And somebody in chat mentioned that slow motion puppet fall was epic. It totally was.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Tetsu, we're glad you're joining us for our first D&D, your first D&D experience. I'm not sure this is canon, but
No, it's definitely not canon, but it's worthy. It's a worthy experience.
it's worthy. Oh my goodness. So these are lots
what
of
are we?
choices with not a lot of information. Scout to the right, scout straight ahead.
Yeah,
Charge
we
to
need.
the right, charge straight ahead.
So he sort of intimated that there's something definitely worse than goblins in here. We heard some chains. We heard ominous sounds. I don't know, man. I feel like Minus is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. But I feel like we need to send him in again.
Yeah, I think going straight ahead seems like we're charging right into the dragon.
Yeah, to the right.
To the right?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. How come left isn't an
Lash
option? Left
glue
is
is
always
a
the right
pain.
option.
Mascara is messy. Extensions
right?
are expensive as
That's
And
left-handedness.
For the
Rogue
win.
Minus sneaks off to the right toward the sounds of the chains rattling. It is dark, but he makes out two wolves chained to the ground. They do not
Ooh.
seem to be able to reach him, and they definitely notice the smell of the group nearby. They are very agitated, barking and snarling. Minus notices that the cavern goes back further and sees another passageway, but it is too dark to know for sure where it leads. They couldn't possibly get there, though, without taking care of these ravenous wolves first, could they? What should they do? The choice is up to you. Please make your decision now.
Try to kill the wolves, sneak past the wolves, or go back to the group and form a plan.
Well, they're chained up.
I do not like sneak past the wolves.
No,
That sounds like
No.
a horrible plan.
I think this is fireball time, Draq.
Go back
Burn
to
'em.
Go back to the group and form a plan.
No, I say try to kill the wolves out of range.
I think that's minus tries to kill the wolves out of range
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well,
because he's not with the group.
oh, right, because he's sneaking ahead. Right.
Yep.
Well, it worked for us before.
Yeah, Nathan says that would be solo.
Oh, okay, that would be solo. Yeah, no, I don't want Minus taking on. We've asked enough of Minus at this point. We're gonna get him killed if we're not careful. I mean, we've sort of rolled the dice to this point. I think we're gonna get Snake Eyes here eventually. So,
All right, go back to the
I
group.
think-
Form a
yeah,
plan.
yeah. This plan better involve a fireball.
Minus returns to the group and tells them about the wolves chained and the passageway going up he saw behind them. The wizard wants the rogue to see what is up ahead, but the cleric says if they do that, then they may not get to explore what is beyond the wolves. She says they could all four easily take out 2 wolves, but if they don't do it now, their chains could break at any time with how roused they are. The paladin says he thinks either is a fine plan at this point, so the choice
Whatever,
is yours.
Nathan, you're just
Should they go
playing
deal with the
everybody
wolves
to
and
like
explore
you.
further in that direction, or abandon that area and scout the passageway straight ahead? The choice is yours. Please make your decision now.
I feel like we
Nice.
deal with the wolves.
Yeah, I got to deal with the wolves.
We
I don't want them
scouted
breaking
them
out. Yeah, the whole point is to scout them out, and now we can deal with them. We know they're there. Yeah, listen to the cleric. She knows what she's doing.
They decide to go deal with the wolves to the east, and working together, Minus starts slashing at one of the wolves, but it starts lashing back at him. The wizard Draq uses Flame Touch to catch the wolf on fire, and it howls out in agony as it is burned alive. Sorensen is bitten by another wolf
Maniac.
and smashes it atop the head. It falls to the ground hurt, and then Winter charges in and bashes its head in, finishing it off. With the wolves all defeated, they head deeper into the room where the passageway leads up. They climb to the top and then stop when they hear voices. It is the sound of a voice with authority, and it sounds agitated, saying, "I, Clarg, must take over Phandalin, and you and your goblins are to help Clarg." Then a goblin voice replies, "We goblins work for King Groll, not Clarg. We goblins restless, more us than you." Then there is the sound of something shattering, and the irk as the first one to talk grabs the goblin by the throat from the sound of it. "Defy Clarg, and it will take every one of your goblin horde to overthrow me." It sounds as if the booming voice belongs to the leader of the Cragmaw group, and that they all work for this King Groll. Also, it appears that there is some resentment between the goblins and this Clarg. Maybe this could be used to your advantage. What will you do? Make your decision now.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. This is interesting. So try for advantage attack and Clark and Goblin, or hide in the hole until things calm down. So, I mean, we got a hint. He said that we can use it to our advantage, that Clark and the goblins are not on the same page, not working together. So how do we do that, though? Does that mean like a surprise attack, or does that mean if we just wait it out, they're going to eventually just kill each other? Like, what does this mean?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of seems like they're ready to kill each other.
I don't want to take them both on, because I feel like whenever I face a scenario like that in any role-playing game, they always just figure out that they like each other more than they like me anyway. And so they just come at me. You know, they're like, look, I don't like you very much, but this guy over here I really don't like, so I'm going for him.
The Holy Paladin.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And his
So we
band
go
of-
and hide in the hole?
I think we're hiding. Yeah.
All right, we're hiding in the hole.
Do you want a new voice? Voice mo-
They decide to hide in the hole and out of sight and wait for things to calm down. Goblins are searching all about but do not see you or your group hiding in this natural chimney type area. Soon they hear the goblins arguing about the intruders must have left and they all return to their positions. It appears you are no longer being chased by the goblin. Now you have a true advantage against Clark and the goblin in the next room. They are still fighting amongst themselves. The goblin is now taking swings at Clark. They are so involved in their own squabbling that they could be taken by surprise. What will you do? Make your decision now.
Yes, now's our chance. Ooh, we get to choose which one to help.
I think we help the goblin.
I think so too. I mean, I think just because Clark probably has better loot. Sort of my thinking, you know,
who's when the thing is left over, right? When it's all done, I want to kill the goblin, not Clark.
Well, right, exactly. I mean, we're gonna kill him eventually. maybe he joins us or something. Who knows?
Maybe. I don't think so.
No.
I think we're killing them both. It's just a matter of which order.
Yeah. So drop in and help the goblin.
Drop in and help the goblin.
Let's do it.
They decide to jump down and help the goblin in hopes that they can take down the huge bugbear Clark. The cleric and rogue come crashing down on Clark, knocking him away from the goblin. And then the wizard and paladin come directly after, landing in front of him. The paladin Sorensen is in the front and is preparing for Clark to retaliate. The goblin behind them seems confused and they notice for the first time that there is another creature in the room, a wolf snarling and barking at them, and he is now between them and Clark as if defending him. This must be his pet, and it looks poised to
Clark's
attack.
a beastmaster.
The goblin turns and runs away, squealing, free from Clark's grasp. Clark shakes himself off and then says,
"You dare to oppose Clark in his own chambers?"
He pulls out his axe and then yells,
"Ripper, eat the flesh from their bones."
The wolf Ripper begins charging at the paladin Sorensen. What should you do? This is your first major boss fight encounter. The choices will get more difficult from here. Make your decision now.
Things are getting serious now. This is getting real.
Wait,
ooh, okay,
do I want to defend or cure wounds? What?
Yeah, it's like, are you just sort of are we accepting that he's about to get mauled no matter what we do?
We can't do both? There's no both?
No, this is one or the other. Man. I feel the pressure here. Paladin defend incoming attack. So what's he gonna do? Like the dog's charging at him. What's he gonna do? Like raise his shield?
This paladin doesn't even have a shield. I don't see his shield.
That's true. He doesn't have a shield. Not the one we've seen anyway. Cleric prepare cure wounds. I think the cleric casts cure wounds. I mean, I think Nathan can. I'd rather see him attack rather than defend.
Yeah, I think cleric. Yep, I'm with you. Cure. Let's heal.
Yeah. Heal me. As you're fond of saying, Draq. Heal me.
Heal me.
Heal me. I think we're about to hear it again.
The wolf crashes into Sorensen. The wolf is on him, biting at him. The cleric Winter casts Cure Wounds, and the rogue dives atop the wolf. But before he can stab him, the wolf, startled by the halfling on his back, begins running around the cavern room in fear, Minus riding atop him in a rodeo fashion. Sorensen gets up. He is only slightly injured. Clark has recovered from the stun and has his axe ready for an attack. What will you do next, adventurer? Make your decision now.
Well, I feel like we made the right choice there. I mean, getting Minus to ride a wolf like a rodeo horse is definitely worth it. Definitely worth it.
Wait, the rogue can tame things?
How does a rogue tame the wolf? What kind of rogue is this? I mean, he's a halfling. Maybe it's like a halfling thing. It's like a racial ability or something.
Yeah, halfling racial.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan
so what do you want to do?
It only makes sense if you click it.
I see. Oh, geez. I feel like that's baiting us to pick one option here, but what do you think? What do you think?
I mean, I think we gotta do that. We gotta tame the wolf.
So, okay. Yeah. Let's see what happens.
All right, here we go.
I'm a little worried. I'm not going to lie.
The rogue Minus focuses and thinks of his younger days with his friend in his hometown known as Plus, a ranger named
we're getting
Therek,
like a death
and he
scene.
remembers how Therek would tame animals, With a soft voice,
Oh, there's
with
our
a pet,
Therek
with a
reference.
soothing and yet authoritative voice, Minus begins petting the wolf
Nice.
Got
Ripper,
it.
and Ripper begins to
found it.
slow. Then Minus gives a soft command. Sit, boy. Ripper sits, and Minus pets him. Good boy. Ripper is wagging his tail and panting happily.
What
Minus
is going
climbs off
on?
of Ripper, and while Sorensen and Winter look on with astonishment, Minus commands Ripper to attack Clark. Clark is shocked at what he is seeing,
No, not my Ripper! Ripper! Kill them!
but Ripper remembers those cold nights without food. Ripper remembers the beatings when he had accidents.
I
in
can't
Clark's
believe we
chambers.
got Therek
Ripper
on the
remembers
first
being
one.
chained for days on end, and his anger begins
good.
to build. These people are not bad boys, they are good boys, and he snarls and charges at his master Clark. Clark, in a panic and shocked by what is happening, steps backwards and falls against the cavern wall. He slides down defenseless as Ripper descends upon him, ripping at his flesh. A goblin
we
comes
go.
in and sees Clark being eaten alive. He has a look of happiness and turns to the group. Follow me. They follow the goblin, and he takes them to a holding cell deep in the cavern, where Sildar, the warrior they had met with Gundren back in Neverwinter, is being held. The goblin unlocks the cage and says, "He belonged to you. You set goblins free of Clark, so we set human free to you." Sildar is injured but alive, and he says they must leave immediately, and so they exit the cavern. Sildar tells them they must go to Phandalin, he needs to rest, and he has matters to attend to. Then he tells them that they must go to Cragmaw Castle, where Gundren is being held, and that he can tell them how to get there. He tells them about Gundren finding the entrance to a mystical place known as Waybecco Cavern, and that someone known as King Groll is trying to find the place, and Gundren is in big trouble. So they help Sildar through the wilderness back to Phandalin, where Sildar rests for a few days. Between the rest and Winter's healing magic, Sildar is back in tip-top shape. Once ready for the journey to Cragmaw Castle, you must decide which path to take. There are the roads, which Sildar told you could be fairly safe. But then again, there are a lot of King Groll's bugbears about, or through the forests, which would avoid the bugbears, but they could run into other nasty creatures. The choice is yours. Which way would you like to go to get to Cragmaw Castle to try and rescue Gundren? The choice is yours. Make your decision now.
Well, before we do this, there's a lot I gotta process here that just happened in that scene. I'm blown away that how that played out. That could not have gone any better. That could not have gone any better. And I have to say, not to say like I saved the day, but I did kind of save the day, didn't I? I mean,
save the day. Very
what's going
clutch.
on here?
Nathan told me before we started this stream that there was only one path where you would enter the story. So, and we found it first time through.
Isn't that crazy? I know. I people will think we set this up, but we honestly did not.
No
I had
idea.
no idea.
Zero. No.
Crazy.
This was not a setup. We
I consider
absolutely-
I consider my my quest partially fulfilled at this point. So anything from here on out is just extra bonus. But that was a crazy scene. I love that, and that couldn't have worked out better for us. So, oof, man, exciting.
So do we want to take the roads to Castle Krogmaw or the forests?
I'm partial to the forest, but
You know what? Anytime somebody says could be dangerous on the roads, I'm always like, let's do the forest.
yeah, stay off the roads. Roads are where people.
That's where you get ambushed, is on the road.
Every Lord of the Rings movie, every Game of Thrones I've watched has told me to stay off the roads.
Stay off the roads.
Yeah.
I agree.
Be strong.
Oh, is this the
The wheel of
Wheel of
Wheel of
Time?
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be good.
I'm gonna watch that when that comes out. That's good.
Yeah, me
They
too.
decide to cut through the forest, hoping to avoid bugbears and alerting King Groll, and begin making their way toward Castle Cragmaw by the directions given to them by Sildar. However, on the second day, they hear a strange sound coming from deeper in the woods, and Minus says it's an owlbear. Sorensen's eyes widen, as much as a puppet's eyes can widen anyway, and he says we should try to go around it. But Minus is shaking his head no. If we can hear it, it can certainly smell us. We are too late. And then, as if on cue, a huge owlbear comes crashing from the thicket and
What?
starts charging them. This isn't good. Owlbears are ferocious creatures and formidable foes. Make your decision on what you want to do next, now.
Knowing how much Nathan likes owlbears, I feel like this is probably a undercon. I feel like this is very strongly an undercon for us. We might think it's easy, but
I feel like our
not-
cautious approach has worked for us so far. We should continue to be cautious.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we should run. I feel like we've been brave and we've had some good strategy, but sometimes you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, right? So
Hopefully, I'm not the last one out.
yeah, I don't have to outrun the owlbear. I just have to outrun you.
They turn and begin running as fast as their little puppet legs would carry them through the forest. But the owlbear is right
it is.
behind and gaining on them. He can run much faster than they can, and his endurance is definitely going to hold out longer. Hurry! You must think quick. Just then you realize you're running right for the edge of a cliff. You are nimble enough perhaps you could dive out of the way just in time to send the
sounds like
owlbear
an
over
excellent
the
plan.
edge.
Love
They
it.
charge forward, and right when they get to the cliffside, they dart to both sides. And as the owlbear approaches, he realizes what you have done and tries to stop,
No
but his
stopping for
momentum
you.
carries him forward.
He's
and
going
the
over.
owlbear goes flying off.
I want to
the
see it. Here it
cliffside,
goes.
plummeting down
Yes,
below to his
yes.
death. You have
Victory.
defeated the owlbear.
Victory.
Everyone catches their breath, and then they continue onward. It doesn't take long, and they reach Castle Cragmaw. It looms before
Just
them,
like that,
dark
it's
and
over.
disturbing.
All right.
You know that Gundren should be inside, but so will be King Grohl. They cautiously go in. But as soon as they enter, there is a large rumbling sound. Quick, I need you to roll for dexterity.
Dexterity. Oh my gosh. Roll 1 dexterity check. Roll 2 dexterity check. Okay, what does that mean?
What? Like people? You know, I always feel like more is better.
yeah.
But it also feels like a trap.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Why would you roll 1 when you could roll 2? But, Okay, well, I'm just reading the chat.
Roll different rolls of the dice. Oh. So we roll a 1 on our dexterity check or we roll a 2 on our dexterity check.
Well, don't we want higher? Wouldn't we want higher is always better?
I don't know. I think so. I think we
Why do I
wanna-
feel like the chat is way smarter than us and
I
has
feel
no
like they're way smarter than us too. I feel like we should go with a 2, but it also feels like a trap.
I'm going with Dimlos here. He says it's a coin flip, so 50-50 it, so
All right.
yeah.
2.
Do that. Yeah.
All right, 2.
It's an even number. Evens are
There's
better
so
than
much
odds.
pressure. We're done so well so far.
I know.
Want to try some of my
I
Mountain
don't
Dew
want to
Zero
screw it
Sugar?
up.
They dodge out of the way just in time
Yeah!
as the entire
All
city
right.
crashes down into the room. Great roll, by the way. They
Great
look
roll.
around and see that there's a winding path going to the left or one to the right. Which way you wish to go is completely up to you. But whatever you do, just make your decision now.
Okay, so left, right?
Yeah,
Left is
left.
best?
Totally left is best.
Always left.
Perfect.
I feel like we've got good luck on our side here tonight.
Yeah, totally.
They
All
go
right,
to the
left
left and
path.
immediately recognize that this room is some sort of goblin shrine. There are 2 goblins, 1 bugbear, and they are praying to some false goblin god. But you do have the opportunity to sneak in, or, since they don't notice you yet, you could go for an advantage attack. The choice is up to you. Make your decision now.
Breakout said he loves me, but he's not going anywhere.
What do you think?
I mean, we've been doing good with the rogue sneaking. Are we pushing it too far? If we send him
don't
in
know.
now?
I think you can't argue with what's been working. It's been working.
All right, let's send him in.
Send in the rogue.
The rogue sneaks in, and they are so busy with their ritual that he kills all 3 of them without any of the others noticing. What a rogue.
God.
There is only one path forward, and so they take it. And as they walk in, they see King Groll. He is standing there as if awaiting them. Then he speaks.
He's right there.
Oh, the troublemaker heroes of Vandalin. I've heard of your exploits. The mockery you made of Clarg and his goblin horde. I shall not let Nesnar down, though. Your adventure ends here in my
News travels
chambers.
fast.
And then he charges forward for the attack. King Groll looks very powerful. What will you do first?
Okay, so hold on a second. First of all, Minus is like the rogue to end all rogues. The guy just took out 3 creatures like with a sneak attack in one go. I mean, are we ever not going to take this option again? I mean, I feel like
we're using Minus till the end, till
seriously.
we take him out. Yeah,
I'm going to abuse his power.
I've only got to cast 1 spell.
Yeah, well, the flame touch, right? You
Oh
flame
no,
touch
2
them.
spells. I did flame touch something, and then I made something laugh. Those were my 2
Oh yes,
spells.
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Minus is taking. He's like the Terminator.
He is. He's like the rogue of your dreams, man. So I like how the boss has heard of our exploits already. Like, how did he hear about this? The news, like,
Guys are famous.
bird flew from the cave to inform him or something. So what are options?
I like formations. Like, I'm all about army formations. So Paladin front, Cleric Wizard in back, Rogue hide. That sounds amazing to me.
Yeah, I feel so. I feel like that's the right choice.
That's
Old spells can get resisted.
That's your classic MMO formation, right? It's
Yeah, that's right. Put the squishies in the back.
Well, all we're missing
We were
here is
still
a
at
ranger
work.
and an
We started
enchanter.
getting these notifications from Ring.
Oh, we don't need no enchanter because Minus takes all the other mobs out for us. There's no crowd control needed when you got Minus in the group.
He just takes everybody out.
The Paladin Sorensen charges forward and locks blades with Groll, but he is so powerful that his axe is getting closer and closer to Sorensen's throat. He can't hold him off by himself. Meanwhile, the Cleric Winter casts Bless on Sorensen, bolstering him, and he begins being able to hold his own. Then
axe
Draq
upside
casts
down.
Thunderclap, and Groll is knocked back stunned. Minus had hit away and sees this as his opportunity and jumps at King Groll, slashing him across the face. Groll falls to his knees, then stands, shaking it off.
Powerful creatures,
He says,
but I'm no coward. I'll fight you to the death for Nesnar.
he shouts and charges towards Draq, knowing he is the squishiest of your group. Hurry! One hit from King Groll and Draq will be done for. What will you do?
Oh no!
All right, first
You
of
gotta-
all, I would just like to pay respect that, you know, you got the glass wizard thing. It's here, so that's good.
And he's targeting you too. He knows who to go for.
He knows.
He's taking you out. That's his primary objective. So what are we doing? Paladin and Cleric stand in his way.
He probably should be taking Minus out, though. That should probably be his first priority, if we're being honest.
Yeah. Considering Minus has already stabbed him at least twice. Wizard started casting. Can you cast fast enough? I mean, it sounds like you're about to get smacked.
No way. I think the Paladin and the Cleric got to stand in the way.
Yes. Be the shield that saves us, Nathan and Winter, or Sorensen and Winter. Come on, don't let Draq
Sorensen
die.
and Winter slide in front of the charging Groll and he tries to cut them down, but together they are able to block his
Together.
attack. Minus slides into Groll from behind and he goes toppling over. Quick, King Groll is prone. This could be your chance. What will you do? Make your decision now.
Oh, I think I know what to do. Where's Minus? Okay, so everyone focus full attacks on prone Groll, or tell Groll to leave the sword coast and never return. That never works. That never works. They're evil. They just come back.
They just come back.
They just return for like the sequel, right? It's like, you shouldn't have let me go that other time.
Is this where we start down our evil trail?
Yes. As Desern said it, coup de grace, man. Coup de grace.
Coup de grace. All right, here we go.
Yep.
Winter,
Hopefully I don't
Draq,
fireball you all.
Sorensen, and Minus dive on top of Grohl while he is prone, and in a vicious manner,
Well,
they beat
that
him
is
to the blood.
vicious. Very
Grohl
vicious.
is now defeated. They untie
violence.
Gundren, and he is very grateful for the rescue. He tells them that time is of the essence, and they must get to Wave Echo Cavern,
is
for the
of the
Black
essence.
Spider has his
Time to
map,
go.
and is
Let's go,
probably
people.
already there.
Get the hell outta
Gundren
here.
tells them that there was an awful maze full of creatures and traps, but he hadn't gotten to explore it all the way through. He tells you back when he had you and your group deliver the goods to Phandalin, it was supplies to help start the excavation, and that deep in the mine past the maze should lie the Forge of Spells. The Black Spider can't get his hands on it, or the entirety of the Sword Coast will suffer greatly. They leave the castle, and Gundren takes them deep into the forest to Wave Echo Cave. It sits atop a rocky incline and cast in shadows, a long-forgotten cavern with a dangerous secret inside. The only way in is down this treacherous-looking rope going down into its depths. Roll for strength for the climb down.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just, I think I have it figured out now. It's just like we have 3 options and we don't know what the number is going to be. They're all just sort of random.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the actual number. That's not the number. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
It's just
It's just like choose 1, 2, or 3, and they'll all be different numbers. We just don't know what the numbers are. So yeah, so I guess it's sort of just 33% chance.
I
roll
feel like
strength.
the middle one's a trap.
What did we take last time? We took 2, right?
We took 2. You want to take 1?
Yeah,
this time?
don't take 2. Yeah, let's go 1.
Okay.
They climb down into the darkness of Wave Echo Cave carefully and step their little puppet feet down on these ancient cavern floors. This must be the maze that Gundren had told them about. They can feel a surge of power and magic coming from deeper within. Taking a deep
Is this
breath,
the
they
spider
must
cave?
decide which way to start this
so.
maze off. There is a path going to the north and another passageway going to the east. Which way will you go? Make your decision now.
North or east?
I don't think there's any sort of logic process to this. I think it's
Yeah.
just one or the other. I'd say go east.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
You hear the howls, roars, and growls of many creatures ahead. Adventurer, this maze will be filled with
Nathan
much
said he
danger.
rolled
Not
real
only
dice.
will you need to
So
find your
1,
way
2,
through
and
this
3 were
maze to
truly
get to the
random.
Forge of Spells, but you will have to fight your way through as well. This maze is set up like an old-school dungeon crawler. Should you die in the maze, however, you will simply be sent back here at the beginning. Now, let's get to it. There is only another path going further east, so you must choose this option.
Oh.
Tough
Okay.
choice. Well, let's go east.
As they head carefully into the next room to the east. At first, it is very quiet, but then they hear a tremendous roar as a dire rat charges towards
Dire
them.
rat?
He is ferociously mad and begins slashing out at you, but you are all able to dodge his attacks. Now, what will you do next? Make your decision now.
Oh,
Dude, I don't know about you, but that dire rat
yeah, it's pretty terrifying, isn't it?
sounds vicious.
Dire rats are a cool enemy, man. Nathan knows all the good enemies. What do we do? Charge or do we use magic? You know
I
what?
never charge at things. It's bad.
Yeah, I was just gonna say your magic has been underutilized here. We need to get you in the game. You need to fireball it, man. Come on, when are we gonna see a fireball?
Perfect thing to fireball is a rat, right?
Yeah, look at it. It's white. It's ready to be burnt to a crisp. Like it's deadly.
Alright.
They stay out of range of the dire rat and blast him with spell slinging every chance they get until finally the dire rat is defeated.
Boom.
Looking ahead, there are
Good
two
job.
options to pick from now. A path going to the north and another going to the east. You must make your decision which way to go now.
So remember, this is a maze too. We want to sort of try to mentally map this in our heads, right?
Oh my goodness.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm the ranger.
Get your piece of paper and start writing it down.
Hold on, let me get my graph paper here. Hold on. I got my dragon pen. We're doing this thing. I'm not screwing around. So hold on. Okay, we came in. I'm just gonna remember poorly. We came in. We went left, and then we went.
We went
we
east,
chat- we-
and then we
Yeah,
went east, and yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask chat to help us here. We went east, right? We had north and east was an option. We went east. And then from there, we went east again. It was our only option.
Yes.
Right? And that's where we're at now.
Yep.
Okay, so now we go north, or do we want to keep going east?
North?
Sure. Okay, go north. Map in progress.
The passageway narrows down and the walls are getting tight to you and your party. You have to stand in a single file line backs against an eastern wall, and it only goes further north. You have no choice but to continue north into the darkness and unknown you see before you. Please continue forth, adventurer.
Okay. So we
Keep
went
going.
one more north.
Yep, one more north. Keeping track.
They go
Uh-oh,
north and
treasure.
notice the cavern branches off to the west or the east. But most notably, there's a treasure chest lying on the cavern floor in the middle of this passageway, right between the east and west passages. The lure of what could be inside is so strong, you can feel it pulling you closer to its unlocked hinge. What will you do? Make
I
your
feel like this
decision
is a mimic.
right
This
now.
is a trap.
This is a mimic for sure. I feel the pull is not a natural pull. This is some sort of magical pull.
Desert says, "You know it's a mimic."
You know, that would be so appropriate here. I think. Man, forgo it. Leave it. Let it go. Let go of your loot. Need. What do you think?
My goodness, it pains me.
It pains me too. I know.
East.
Trust. East. Let's go east.
East.
I hope
You
you're
come
proud of
across
us,
a
Nathan.
door
I'm coming
partially
back to
built
open that
into the
treasure.
northern wall of this
Without
room.
me.
The skull above it. You try to open the door, but it is locked. There is
Nathan just
also a
said it could
passage
be a
going
great
to the
treasure.
east.
We
You wonder
totally
what is
made the
behind
good
the door,
choice.
but you aren't sure how you would go about finding the key in this twisted maze. So what should you do? Should you just keep going east? Make your decision now.
What was the first part? Inspect the door, inspect the skull, or go east. Oof.
I feel like we should inspect the door,
Yeah.
then inspect the skull if that's an option.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll inspect
Agreed.
the door first.
Right.
You take a closer look at the door and can't make out anything of interest. It is a well-built wooden door, probably of dwarven design.
Desert says
very
Pantheon
sturdy,
Plus does
too
Lost
thick
Mines of
and well-built.
I saw that.
super thick
Or a
will
super
break
safe
down.
edition.
You're at a loss. Should you just keep going to the east or what? I mean, seriously, what are you gonna do here?
Hey, go back. I didn't hear what he said there. I was,
Sorry, too much
No, it's
laughing.
okay.
No more having
Of
fun,
dwarven
Therek.
design, very sturdy, too thick and well built to simply kick or break down. You're at a loss. Should you just keep going to the east or what? I mean, seriously, what are you gonna do here?
All right, so
yeah,
inspect
the skull.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You take a closer look at the skull, and when you open its mouth, you find a key inside. Excitement rushes through your body, and you try the key on the door. You find a familiar sound of the lock releasing, and the door opens. You feel a
Ooh,
draft
animation.
coming from the other side. This must be the way. Hurry, go north through the door.
Wait. Did we just figure out how to get through this thing on the first go?
Man, I feel like we've got something on our side here where I think we did. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I think we outmazed the maze on our first try.
Because there was another chat that we were in where somebody said that they were lost in this thing for hours.
Rookies.
Rookies.
Let's go north. North it is, through the door.
Grammarly helps make your writing clear and concise, no matter where you are. With Grammarly on your computer and
As they step forth into the darkness and their
Whoa,
eyes
there he
adjust,
is.
they're
Oh,
shocked
beholder.
to see a spectator before them. Its eyes on tentacles looking about.
Not quite a
Spectators are
beholder.
typically guardians of some great treasure. Could they be this close to the Forge of Spells? Had they made it at last, and the only thing standing before them is this gruesome foe? Then, in their minds, they hear the spectator speak to them.
You shall not set forth beyond me. return. Go back from whence you came.
They know this is not an option, and Sorensen shouts out, "We have defeated your master's maze, now let us through." The spectator leaves their minds blank and does not respond. Instead, it shoots eye rays at your party. They dodge, but are still slightly struck by it. Adventurers, it's your DM here. Listen, this is a special fight, much different than those before. Instead of only picking options, in this fight, you will notice a red bar and a blue bar. After each decision, you will attack, and then the spectator will attack. The blue bar is your hit points, the red bar is the spectator's. Now, make your decision on what you wish to do, quickly.
Dude, this is so cool. This is so good.
This is
so
epic.
good. Oh my gosh. Man, okay, but seriously though, like, these, like, beholders, spectators are brutal. Brutal. Every D&D game I ever played, they're just awful. Okay, we got to take this. We got to get this done. So we got Paladin Smite or Wizard Cast Sword Burst. What is Sword Burst?
I have no idea.
What kind of wizard are you? Come on, man.
Not
you know your spells?
not this version of D&D apparently.
Well, Smite.
I feel like the wizard should do more damage than the paladin though.
Yeah, and I feel like Smite's an undead thing. That's my recollection. Anyway.
Oh, that's right. It is.
Yeah, and this is not undead, so I say cast your wizard spell.
All right. Oh, Nathan says spinning blades coming out. I can't go wrong with that, right?
That's what we want. That's what we want.
That's music.
So good.
Boom. 8
damage.
I feel like that's a lot.
I feel like, look at the health bar. He took off almost like half of his health. Uh-oh.
Boom.
2. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good.
But he took 4. Oh, no, because he got 2
we were already
first.
down 2. Yeah, the eye lasers. Paladin critical hit or wizard cast lightning bolt.
See, aren't these guys resistant to lightning?
Yes, they're resistant to almost everything. So that's like that sword spell was good because it was physical damage. But if we start doing like lightning, fire, ice, that kind of stuff, they're super resistant. I like the paladin crit.
We are RPG veterans here, Nathan. You cannot fool us.
That's right. Yeah. This is right. We're owning this guy.
Wait, plus, I don't know though.
Everyone's
Paladin crit
looking
seems
forward
like
to the school
it's made
year.
up.
But
Paladin
sometimes
crit.
the best part about being
Crit block, maybe.
Paladin crits for 2. Oh, 8 more damage.
Another
Woo!
8. We just got 4 left. We're in business, man. We're in business. Wounding Ray.
Dodge, duck,
So
dive,
awesome.
dip, dodge. Oh, what?
Oh no! Oh, we died!
You will return back to the
17.
entrance of the maze. You have lost your encounter with the spectator. Now, which way would you like to go? North or east?
Okay.
So
Well, we can get
east.
back to him. Yeah, so east, north.
You hear the howls, roars, and growls of many creatures ahead. Adventurer, this maze will be filled with much danger. Not only now, let's get to it.
Nathan did
There
say in the
is
chat that
only
it's not a
another
beholder, it's a
path going
spectator. They have
further
low
east,
resistance to
so you
magic.
must choose
Or
first.
little resistance.
Wrong mob.
As they head carefully into
The
the next
allure of a
room
crit
to
was
the
a trap.
east. At first, it is very quiet, but then they hear a tremendous roar.
Oh, we gotta fight
as
this
they
thing again.
Make your decision now.
But we know what to do. We got it.
They stay out of range of the dire rat and blast him with spell slinging
The allure
every
of
chance
crit
they
was a
get
trap.
until finally the dire rat is defeated. Looking
Yeah,
ahead,
we avoided
there
the
are
one
two
allure
options
from
to
the
pick
treasure
from
chest,
now.
but not
a
the crit
path
allure.
going to the north and another going to the east. You must make your decision which
Yeah. 2
the
north.
passageway narrows down and you have no choice but to continue. They go north and notice the cat closer to its unlocked.
Which way do
Yeah.
we go here? Back east?
East, yeah.
You come across a door harshly built into the northern wall of this room with a skull above. Wonder what is behind the door, but you aren't. What should you do? Should you just keep going east? Make your decision. You take a closer look at the skull, and when you open its mouth, you find a key inside. Excitement rushes through your body, and you try the key on the door. You find a familiar sound of the lock releasing, and the door opens. You feel a draft coming.
North, yeah.
As they step forth into the darkness and their eyes adjust, they are shocked to see a spectator before them. Its eyes on tentacles looking about. Spectators are typically guardians of some great treasure.
Spectator.
Could they be this close to the Forge of Spells? Had they made it at last, and the only thing standing before them is this gruesome foe? Then, in their minds, they hear the spectator speak to them.
You shall not set forth beyond me. Turn, go back from whence you came.
They know this is not an option,
Scribbles.
and Sorensen shouts out, "We have defeated your master's maze, now let us through." The spectator leaves their minds blank and does not respond. Instead, it shoots eye rays at your party. They dodge, but are still slightly struck by it. Adventurers, it's your DM here. Listen, this is a special fight, much different than those before. Instead of only picking options, in this fight, you will notice a red bar and a blue bar. After each decision, you will attack, and then the spectator will attack. The blue bar is your
Train
hit
them if you
points,
don't like
the red bar is the spectator's. Now, make your decision on what you wish to do, quickly.
Thanks
Yeah,
for the
so we
gift
did-
set breakout.
So we're going to follow the same thing except do the lightning this time?
Right. Wizard
Yeah.
sword burst.
Yeah.
Where you from? I'm from about an hour north of Baton Rouge. Where you born? I was born in Korea.
Inspired by true.
Fel, tell your meeting you're doing something more important.
Seriously, what's more important than this? Nothing.
All right, here we go.
Okay, lightning bolt this guy.
Lightning bolt. Nice.
Come on.
Oh,
13. I did it. He's dead. That's all we needed. Yes. Good job, wizard. He's defeated.
so
Man.
does it ever just kill you and you're just done and you got
They
to go
step
back to
out of the
beginning?
maze and into an open room. What they see shocks them to their core. The Forge of Spells is spewing forth energy in absolutely astonishing sparks of color and power. The magic is in the air so heavy they can feel it as if it is a tangible thing pressing against them. There is a drow there, and he is casting some foul magic on the forge. This
Foul
must
magic.
be the black spider you have
Oh.
heard so much about. He quits casting and turns to face you. "Ah," he says, "the adventurers that will not quit poking in my affairs." Sorensen steps forward. "We've defeated all your underlings. Be gone. This forge belongs to the good people of Phandalin." Nesnar is laughing. "Oh, how predictable of a paladin. Things could have been so different. You fools think this is just some forge to use for making armor and weapons? Nay, this is a dimensional rift into the plane of water. The power that surges from it was used by dwarves in ages past for such trivial means. But I, Nesnar, will use it for its true purpose. It's an ocean without a surface. It is a domain of currents and waves. It is a bottomless depth. And the creatures from within. The material plane has never seen such power." Draq steps forward. "Nesnar or Black Spider, no mere mortal can control such power. The dwarves use this for material purposes. Going beyond that is mere madness." Nesnar
Madness,
thinks
it's
on this
madness.
for a moment. "I have spent my entire life looking for this forge.
I feel like this is
Dedicated
the
every
monologue when
second
we're supposed to be
get where I
attacking him when he's not
stand now.
expecting it.
I couldn't possibly fight you all in a fair fight, not based on what I've heard you have already
No,
done.
this is-
I
we're
have made
distracting
pacts
him
with
while
the
he's
dragon.
monologuing.
I have
We're setting
killed
up our
innocents,
combos.
and now the forge
Right.
is allowing me to sap it of its power, and some ragtag group of nobodies now stands in my way. I didn't expect you to find your way through the maze. Perhaps it is fate. He stops as if filling out those words,
And I
and
would've
then he
won,
puts
too,
his
if it
arms
hadn't have been
forward,
for them
and the
kids.
energy from the forge surges, and the cavern begins to shake from the power. Winter shouts out, "Stop, Neznar! The entire cave is going to collapse!" The events that transpire in this epic battle with Neznar felt like an eternity for the adventurers. How you decide to proceed is your choice. Neznar is using the power of the Forge's spells to pull the very fabric of the material plane down on you. What will you do? Before you make your decision, know that from this point forward, there is no wrong choice, only different outcomes. Now, for the final few times, make your decision now.
Okay, Draq, here we go, man. This is all come to this. We have had an epic run. We can't fail here. Failure is not an option.
Failure's not an option. I feel like diplomacy is still the weak way out here.
Is that really an option? Wow, but hold on a second.
It's not an option.
It's so absurd, though. It makes me wonder if it's the right choice. I got to tell you.
Well, he said that there were no wrong choices.
There's always wrong choices, Draq. Let's be honest. Like, come on. That's what
Nathan's just trying to lull us into a bad choice. That's what it really is.
I think so too. He still wants us to go back and get that treasure chest that we passed up because we thought it was a mimic.
I would just like to say, not related to our choice here, that dude, Nathan does a really good job of reading stuff and telling a story. Like, it's epic.
Super epic, man.
Shades of Chris Kane going on here.
Is so good. Voices, it's got everything. It's got sound effects, got everything.
Dude, it's
insane. Oh, all right. Well,
I think we should battle him, even though it might be a trap.
I think so too. We're here. We're fighters. That's what we do. We kill stuff.
This is not the time for caution.
No, this is not the time for
All
diplomacy.
you do in your doll, whatever doll it is literally just drag and drop.
We can drag one of these chord progressions in. Boom, just...
They charge forth and Neznar casts a spell that puts a barrier of water between himself and your group. Sorensen and Winter begin bashing at the barrier, and Neznar continues using the forge to pull the material plane apart on them. Draq casts Ray of Frost on the barrier, and it freezes, and the barrier comes down. Minus runs for an opportunity strike at Neznar, but he raises his arm, and Minus is being choked by an invisible force. Winter spins to Neznar to connect her mace with his head, but Neznar raises his hand once again, and Winter is now being choked as well by an invisible hand. Draq begins casting, and then he too is lifted in the air, gasping and fighting at an unseen force. Then Sorensen realizes the source of his power is the forge. Neznar sees Sorensen, and as if he can read his mind, he says, "If you were to attack that forge, you will absorb all of its power. Don't be a fool, it will kill you." Sorensen knows inside himself that Neznar is telling the truth. He could destroy this ancient forge to never be used again, but if he does, the power pouring forth would certainly be his death. On the other hand, Neznar seems to be at his limit and could possibly just be struck down. The decision is yours. What will you do? Make your decision now.
Well, hey man, it's a tough choice, but
Nathan, I feel like I'm missing a choice here.
maybe hold on, maybe let it play a little further. Maybe another one pops up.
I don't think so.
You know what? It really is no choice anyway.
Dude,
you know
I totally would have picked this one anyway.
Nathan says, wait, hold on.
wait.
Alec break out, and Nathan's the hero of his story. Nathan says, I'll add it real quick if you want to pick attack Neznar.
No, we don't want to attack Neznar anyway. But has nobody got to this? Like, are we the first ones to ultimate sacrifice?
Maybe. It's certainly possible.
All right, well, let's ultimate sacrifice it anyway.
Yeah, it was meant to be. This is what it was meant to be.
Wait, let's see how many people viewed this. 17. We're not even close.
The Paladin Sorensen knows what he must do
World
to
first.
give his life purpose, to save the Sword Coast, to save his dear friends.
Not
He
many.
charges at the
Nathan
forge.
says not
Neznar
many.
drops his chokehold on the others and casts fire at Sorensen, and the fire consumes him. But it is too late to stop him. His little puppet body aflame, he continues his attack on the forge. He can feel his puppet skin melting away. The pain is immense, but with each strike, the Forge's surging energy wanes. And then, with the very last of his energy, Sorensen lets forth a thunderous smite, and the Forge explodes in magical splendor. Colors light up the cavern, and once the light has passed, Nesnar is on his knees, sobbing. Winter, Minus, and Draq see that Sorensen is gone. In a rage, Winter bashes Nesnar across his skull, and he falls to the cavern floor, dying. The Forge is no more. The Black Spider has been defeated. Phandalin, Neverwinter, and the entirety of the Sword Coast is safe from the awful repercussions that would have came from this diabolical plan. Since there was no body of Sorensen to recover, a statue was erected in Phandalin in his honor for his sacrifice. He lived the true life of a paladin and had a worthy death as well. And their legendary adventure was told in taverns across the realm for centuries. Sometimes some details were stretched, sometimes they weren't quite as glorious as they actually were. Gundren was upset to hear the Forge was destroyed, but was grateful that it could never be used for such horrible means ever again. Winter continued the good fight and helped all across the region with various issues. Minus found work with a glorious group of rogues that went on to loosen treasures from all across the Sword Coast and grew extremely wealthy. Draq found a library in Waterdeep to research and spent the rest of his days locked away learning and growing his mind. But even years and decades from the events, all three of the puppets always looked back at the things they had done, the decisions they had made, and always wondered, what if? What could have they done differently? And what outcomes would they have found? Congratulations, you had defeated the Lost Mine of Phandelver Choose Your Own Adventure campaign. Did you know there are multiple ways to even get to the final choices? Even if you were to see all the choices from this branch of the storyline, there are even more locked behind other choices that link all the way back to the very first decision you made in this entire campaign. Over 700 videos were made, which means there are over 700 different decisions to make. And guess what, adventurers? You have discovered my favorite ending. Did you realize that Sorensen is actually me? And as a paladin, I must confess, this sacrifice is what paladins are meant to do for the greater good. Now, there is a reward for the first 6 people that have found this ending. Listen closely. I need you to comment down below. You have the choice of picking an NPC name, as long as it's appropriate, for the next D&D Choose Your Own Adventure campaign, or you can choose a monster from the official D&D Monster Manual, and I will add it to the next campaign. So comment below what you want. Either a name of an NPC or a monster from the Monster Manual. You can only choose one or the other. Comment now, and if you're one of the first 6 people, your wish will be granted. Now get out there and find new adventures in this epic Choose Your Own Adventure Dungeons and Dragons campaign. There's still a ton to see. I hope you can see the amount of work and dedication it took me over the course of a year and a half and over 1,600 hours it took me to make this. And please, 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 to continue making these in the future, I need you to share the original video that starts the campaign across social media, in forums, to your friends, on Discord, to your family, anywhere you can help spread this adventure. Just remember to link the first video that starts the adventure so they can start at the beginning. Help shine light on this amazing campaign. Find places where D&D folks are and share the first video in the campaign that starts the adventure so more people can experience what I have created. Thank you for playing and congratulations. Now find your favorite ending.
Man, that was so good.
Cereal.
What a
Sorry to rain.
unbelievable thing.
Oh, Nathan, you need a link here back to the first video.
That was so good.
I would do that. I know we're not one of the first 6, but you know.
But we may not be one of the first 6.
Streamer privilege, right?
I gotta believe we were one of the most efficient, though. I mean, we basically made correct choice after correct choice. I mean, how could we have done it any better?
In honor of my good friend Daimlos, I'm going to add him in here. Daimlos the Bard.
Nice, nice.
Because you're already in, so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, you don't have to put me. No, I served my purpose. I played my role. All good. That was fantastic. I want to go back and do it again a little bit. Like I'll go back and do it like some other time because I want to see what the other stuff is. Nathan says there's all kinds of other stuff. Like there's side quests and there's like stuff we didn't see and, you know, the city and all this kind of stuff. So
absolutely. We might give it another stream shot. We do have a busy week though. Tomorrow is the MMORPG 101 classes. We're starting Final Fantasy 11, and that has been a grand adventure so far. The most difficult game install of any game I've ever played, bar none. So
yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. And then Thursday is the dev stream, and then also we're doing a Pantheon Plus U with Therek, Nathan, and myself.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
So everybody. And I believe tomorrow Breakout is actually streaming this too.
Yeah.
So you guys want to check him out too. Make sure you get over and watch him as he streams it. I think that'll be before we do the MMORPG 101. So make sure you go check him out. And this was super fun. Do you have anything you want to say before we go?
No, I just again, kudos, Nathan, man. That's an epic undertaking. It's something I've never seen anybody else do. I've told people about this. I've tried to sort of get the word out, and I think that this is a whole. There's so much potential here for this, and I'm so glad that it was successful and you got it all completed and finished. And I'm glad people are enjoying it. And I know other people have been streaming it too. So if you know somebody who's streams, share it with them, get them to. Give it a run, because it's like that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, guys. I mean, this is grassroots, right? He spent so many hours videotaping all this stuff and editing. I can't even imagine. It's just
funny stories from being out in the woods filming, running into random strangers and getting warnings and all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean,
so nuts.
This is quite the adventure.
Yeah.
Right on. Thanks for having me, Draq. That was fun.
Dude, it was total fun. And we may put together another night of this and choose. Maybe we'll go more aggressive next time, see if we can get some people killed off.
Maybe, exactly. We have to meta this thing. We have to how many people can we lose? How many members of the party can we lose? And keep going.
Yes. All right, well, that's all for now. Have a great night, folks. And like I said, make sure you share it out. Make sure you tell everybody you know to go play this thing, because it's a ton of fun.
It is, absolutely. Okay. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night.
Pantheon Plus was founded on the idea of community matters. Our mission is to foster the most engaged, kind, and helpful community that any MMORPG has ever seen. Your participation fuels not only different ideas from different points of view, it's also the foundation of everything we do at Pantheon Plus. We strive to be the megaphone that gets your opinions and viewpoints out there to be discussed. And the best part is, more than any other game we've seen, the devs are listening.
So we invite and encourage you to drop in on Discord and leave a question for the rewind. Or maybe you'd prefer to join the green room and add your 2 cents to the newest content that is dropped for Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Or maybe you want to write some fan fiction and put it on the Pantheon Plus website. Or if you're really brave, you could do a Plus profile with me and tell everyone about your MMO gaming history.
We want you to stop lurking in the background and start to make your mark on the world of Terminus. So when that glorious day comes and Pantheon launches, everyone will know the name of your adventurer. Community matters.
#Community matters.